Hello, welcome to The Let Out. This is just a sneak peek of the conversation I had with my lovely guest, Miss Amanda Seales. Of course, you're going to have to tap into Patreon to see the full thing.
You know, when it comes to the bearded rapper, I just feel like I don't think people really understand like the immensity of what he's doing. A friend of mine called him a cultural terrorist, and I thought that was a very specifically apropos label for what he is. I know there's other folks who are just wooed by the language. They think that he's saying things that are above our heads. You know, he's so innovative. And I gotta tell you, I have a very high IQ.
Okay. Let them know. Talk to them.
IQ. And so I'm just like, if there was something to get, I feel like I would have got it. I would have got it. But what's really happening is people are seeing somebody in their full self, and they don't realize that they haven't seen this person in their full self. They've seen them as an artist, and they've been really particular about how they show up. But if we go back even to the Taylor Swift situation at MTV, we see that this is somebody who's a disruptor.
Yeah.
And that's really their actual goal, is simply to disrupt. And disrupting without intent is really just terrorism. In a way that actually terrorism is very intentional.
Yeah.
So disrupting without intent
Is a form of it.
Is a form of it. But I get saddened by the folks who I feel are in a chokehold. Chokehold. Because if they're believing him, then there's some other toxicity they're allowing in their life in another way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I said it a bunch of times, but for whatever reason, we're obsessed with heroifying people. And when we do that, they can do no wrong. And we find ways to make them right.
Baby, I don't even know what the heroism is, though.
I mean, okay,
was there a burning building that I missed that he ran in and saved babies from?
Let me ask you this, because I was at an age when my parents didn't let me listen to Kanye, and by the time I could just, sneak and listen, I wasn't interested. Were you a Kanye fan?
Absolutely.
Back in the day?
What?
So, do you agree?
I was there.
Okay. Do you agree with the people who said he's a genius? Because that's what I think they want to attach to the hero.
But you have to understand, I have a lot of inside scoop.
Okay.
So that's the other thing too. I think a lot of times folks don't realize that the media is only showing you a portion of a person. Like, you look at this guy and you're like, well, why is it that everybody close to them has distanced themselves, like, at some point or another, in a very legitimate way? And that's not coincidence. Genius shows up in a multitude of ways, but genius has absolutely nothing to do with character.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, you said something really powerful in the parking lot when you told people to stop speaking on what they don't know nothing about. And this whole genius concept, I think, is what they're using to excuse his character because of what they've seen on TV. What they've seen people portray and romanticize geniuses to be, and that is like a socially awkward, without social skills, rather, person who has no empathy and acts from that place. Who told you that?
I saw someone come in my DMs and was like, Kanye is neurodivergent. And I was like, y'all better stop it with
Did they spell it right?
these diagnoses.
With no DSM-5.
Listen, they said Kanye is neurodivergent and it is incredibly ableist.
Ooh, that's wild.
It is incredibly ableist for you to expect him to operate differently than his neurodivergent mind allows.
That's wild.
And unless this person has sat down with him and done a thorough analysis, a psychiatric analysis, I think that's a very egregious application to apply to somebody that you simply don't know and you haven't interacted with.
And here's the thing, though. I mean, in the case that we find out that Kanye is indeed neurodivergent, I don't think it's wrong for us to, let me say this. Maybe it might be misplaced for people to expect him to behave in a different way, but we can't expect people around him to stop giving him a platform to do it. Because that's the piece that's missing. Kanye can do what he want to do all day, as long as he has an opportunity.
Access.
Yes, you're giving people access to it. So before we get too much into that, I did want to ask you, you were a fan, can you separate the art from the artist? Do you feel
to
like
a
it's
certain
possible?
extent, at this point, no.
Okay.
Because at this point, as an actual artist, like your art is personal to you. It's coming from you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So there's a certain type of art also that comes like music is so incredibly personal to somebody. You know, I don't know that a TV show is the same way, but like I feel like, and I say that because like I can separate A Different World from Bill Cosby, but like I can't separate like Kanye songs from Kanye. Like he's like rapping the songs and he's saying things in these songs.
Yeah.
By the way, the other thing about it is for me, like particularly with musicians, like I'm listening to your music and I'm attaching your music to you as I'm listening to your music. So if you are disgusting me and I listen to your music, I am now disgusted.
Yeah, you don't know how many times like I haven't streamed. So I've not streamed an R. Kelly song since watching Surviving R. Kelly. I've not streamed a Michael Jackson song after seeing that documentary.
I didn't feel the same way about that.
I don't feel the same way about it, but I still didn't stream one because I'm trying to figure out like what practicing what I preach looks like, and I don't feel the same way about Michael Jackson's experiences at all. But people were hurt at the end of the day, and so I'm still figuring that out for myself. But I'll sing a Michael Jackson song. I'll dance to a Michael Jackson song. When I catch myself singing R. Kelly, I'm just like disgusted with myself. Like, damn.
Well, I got you.
Frustrated by
because
mine.
he was a genius. Listen, so show me some IDB. You know what I mean? Like,
please.
I'm sorry.
And, like, the songs that I used to sing, like
You're
in
like,
homeroom with friends,
You're like,
used to take different parts of the song. Can't do that no more, cause it's that serious. And I feel that way about Kanye. And I mean, his music is one thing. That's what's I've heard that maybe musicians don't actually earn too much from these streams, but allowing that community to still exist, allowing the community that's buying his clothes, that's buying his shoes, like I think it's deep enough for us to, we talk so heavily about controlling our money in order to get what we want out of white people, but we don't got that same energy when it comes for us.
No, we don't have that same energy when it comes to us, particularly when it comes to like black men, because I feel like there's this idea that you can't hold black men accountable while still loving black men.
Wow, when holding you accountable is love.
100%.
I just wanted to see you do better.
I definitely want to see you do better. I also don't want to see you bring down everybody else. And when you're the only brother in a space, you become the representation of all the brothers. And it's not fair. But I feel like we're at this critical time in our nation anyway, where there's just like so much mayhem that it's almost like he's trying to like outdo. It's like he's these people in the comments who try to outdo each other. Like he's like, oh, y'all Republicans gonna be out here talking crazy? Not without me. And
like, why? Nobody invited you to this space, my boy. Like,
but he's been on this, and we're just at an apex time. He's gonna try and run for office again. I don't know. But more importantly, what your point is about like how do we undermine this bad behavior? Like how do we show up and say this isn't for us? Is in most cases in a capitalist society with your dollars and simply just not showing financial support to people who rely on your financial support to do that. But also, like you said, like not giving platform to it. And I know people were like, why do y'all keep talking about him? Why do y'all keep talking about him? And I'm like, because he's an incredibly visible member and beloved member of our black community. He's contributed considerably to the African American cultural canon. And like you said, we should be able to hold each other to a standard.
It's the side of cancel culture that I hate is like in order to make excuses for people, there's this victim blaming mentality that is and rhetoric that is spewed when it comes to, for instance, bringing up R. Kelly. He's a genius, da-da-da-da-da-da. I blame the parents. I blame those girls. They should have never went over there.
Well, the girls, I mean, I can't even. When people come with that, I be like, so you're sick.
But just anything to not hold this person accountable, because again, we want heroes. Like, I don't understand that concept. I'm still trying to figure it out, but that's essentially it at the end of the day. And I feel like it's some maladaptive response to being oppressed, to where people who make it to a certain level, we want them to just be able to exist there freely. And I understand that, but in doing that, you uphold some of the same shit that you want to be free from. All right, YouTube, that's enough free stuff for you. Make sure you go to patreon.com/theletouts to see